Welcome to my challenge run. I'm Freestyle. I'm a little bit sick. You'll have to bear with me. I won't sound quite as polished this evening. Took third in the last challenge with Boros Metalcraft. I have 8 rounds of Pauper Magic the Gathering to go through. I've gone through some of them. I've reviewed some of them. Some of these games I haven't seen yet, but we're going to play a game called Spot the Mistakes, because there's definitely a handful of things that I have the opportunity to learn from moving forward. Off we go. We're going to start things off with a mulligan, right? Because that's a no-brainer. We're going to get rid of that Prism because we already have Astrolabe. Our game plan right now is just turn 1 Astrolabe, turn 2 Skyfisher, but we draw this 1-drop, run it out there. Our opponent's telegraphing some form of counterspell. We're going to play into a Spellstutter Sprite because we have the answer for a Spellstutter Sprite. Stick this Astrolabe. Our opponent passes, representing nothing but a Spellstutter Sprite again, allowing us to resolve Core Skyfisher unhindered. We're going to bounce our Astrolabe, and then we're not going to replay it. And on the third consecutive turn of Spellstutter Sprite interaction available, we're going to go for the Astrolabe again because we have the Blast to back it up. Although, having played this deck more now, I would actually lead on Bone Splitter because Bone Splitter is amazing in this matchup. Otherwise, they lean on Core Skyfisher. Yeah. Again, Spellstutter Sprite is. It's amazing when so much of your. Whoa, I made a mistake. Let's hold up. Alright. First off, it's amazing when so much of your deck costs 1 mana in a field full of Spellstutter Sprites where your opponent is leaving up 2 every turn, so they can tap both those for a 1/1 creature. That some of the time is going to get you, but when your entire deck costs 1 mana, except for some Core Skyfishers, you can really bait them out in so many good ways. So that is the first observation I had there, but let's back up. This is a situation where I actually have some things to learn. Now, Magic is a handful of circumstantial mistakes and categorical mistakes, right? And we call these leaks, these second type of mistakes. These are leaks in our game. We make these too frequently. They're no longer a circumstantial mistake. And this has been a big one of mine for a long time. I have a game plan, and then I fail to reevaluate. And in this situation, I drew Throbbing Inspector off this Arkham's Astrolabe. And frankly, it should be in play because I chose to play Astrolabe, so I need to get the extra dude out there and go for the Bone Splitter the next turn. Of course, before this, I was just starting to go off about how good Bone Splitter is in this matchup and how these days I would run it out first. Core Skyfisher blocks every creature in Boros Metalcraft except Ardent Recruit with Metalcraft. So, some of the time, Core Skyfisher blocks every creature in this deck. Just free. No consequences. If you want to beat Jeskai before they have the opportunity to combo off with Ephemerates, you just can't have that. So Bone Splitter is a huge problem for Jeskai once it hits the field. Core Skyfisher has to trade with Throbbing Inspectors or Court Homunculus. allowing us to swing in with our own core Skyfishers and or Glinthawks. Anything unequipped with this really usually gets through. Well, probably not Glinthawks, but you get the idea. At any rate, this is a categorical mistake that I make personally as a player. Is that I have a game plan and I just execute it and then pass the turn because it's Magic Online and there's the F6 button. And it's just kind of sloppy. I don't think in real life I would draw a 1-drop threat off my Astrolabe and just not play it here. Anyway, as played, moving forward, passing the turn. It's always a good idea to go back through your matches, even when you do well. There are opportunities to learn about your game, both good and bad. It allows you a tremendous opportunity to improve. So for any of you Pauper players that do not play on Magic Online, I would consider it a very good investment. I would like to just see an equipped swing. Alright, cool. So we're going to do that. We're going to make our worst creature our biggest threat. He only has 1 source of red. He only has 12 life. We're going to clear 5 damage here and bring him down to 7. Always. And if I didn't have Bone Splitters in my deck, there's an opportunity for him to use his scry to take out our core Skyfisher or our Ardent Recruit. And as played, we're just going to pass the turn and crack our clue. I'm not willing to risk drawing the card now to make a land drop, to not have Galvanic Blast up if he tries to combo, right? We need to have an interaction when he gets that 4 mana. I'm not wanting for him to go Maul Drifter, Ephemerate, start finding a way back into the game. And as played, we're going to, crack the clue, move forward. It's a pretty good draw. Again, having played more of this matchup now, I'd just like to see an equip here. But running out Astrolabe and seeing what you get is fine too. You could draw a Chain Lightning, that's the upside on that. Our opponent has another Scrud, but he has to, make a trade where he can. And if I had played my Throbbing Inspector a turn before, he would actually be at 4 right now. Right? And this blast would be lethal. So, these little mistakes sometimes when you go back and you spot them, it's something that paper Magic cannot duplicate. So, here we have our opponent having Counterspell mana, but maybe Spellstutter Sprite mana. And if Spellstutter Sprite is what he has, this Skyfisher is just going to resolve. So, we're going to treat it just like we played turn 3. We're going to bounce an Astrolabe, and, this time we're going to equip because he's out of blast range. But the point is, we're not going to replay the Astrolabe into what he presumably has left. We're just going to pass with lethal on turn. it's a tremendously powerful draw, given the context. But really, I think we just have it here, regardless of what's on top of red deck. We have this blast. He only has one source of red. He's still going to come into blast range. We still have this he has to deal with. From the rest of the game, all lightning bolts, blast, and chain lightnings are now lethal just off the top. So, like, he really just has to have, like, everything to escape what we already had. But it is really nice when you draw the backup lethal spell right off the top, and you have the threat he must counter. It's nice when you have everything, really. We didn't need those things, though. I believe Bone Splitter, with what I had, would have been enough. With any other creature, he has problems. See, like, he only has 3 cards in hand. So, yeah, we got more Magic to cover. I'll leave that be. Game 2, on the draw. With this list, I sided in 4 red blasts. I took out 4 chain lightnings. And also sided in Reaping the Graves against Jeskai. I'm not sure what I took out off the top of my head. Yeah, so we just want to run everything out while he doesn't have counterspell magic available. Our opponent has the classic mana issues, the classic Jeskai mana issues induced by the one of Snow Forest, which I'm not a fan of. Apologies to Sakura, innovator of that tech, with the Pulse Marasa. He's a great player. And I just play Jeskai differently, and situations like this happen. Like, our opponent doesn't have counterspell magic. He only has Spellstutter Sprite magic, so he's in a super awkward spot. And I don't want to offer too many spoilers, but this is not going to be a very good game of Magic the Gathering. This is a pretty good spot. We finally have a threat. He can only ever have Spellstutter Sprite. We have our choice of answer. Going with Red Elemental Blast, because we have Metalcraft. We have 7 points of burn. Our mana is incredibly awkward, but there's a lot of that going around. Check this Metalcraft value. Yeah, it's the most exciting part of this game. I got Metalcraft value. Like, I got flooded. I had color issues, but our opponent got even more worked than we did. We finally draw an incredible spell. Of course, Skyfisher returns our Throbbing Inspector, which we can replay, presumably catch a Spellstutter Sprite with a Lightning Bolt. I don't know why it's so slow sometimes, the replayer. Like, I explained the line, I feel like a full minute ago. This game happened a long time ago. I don't know why it's like thinks there's like the dramatic need for dramatic reveal. I like to see this clue cracked though. I would like to see the previous me crack this clue. I didn't hit a one drop, but I had made a land drop, so I hit a one drop that's just tremendous there. That's equally tremendous. I forgot I was recording for a second. He's gonna update the list. That's awkward. Yeah, he's gonna. I'll show my list at the end. I was just gonna update it, going back and looking at this game. Made me realize that no matter what, I need one of these. I need a fifth lab for games that are awkward. For games where I'm gonna get stuck with one of my 7 red sources, and have multiple burn spells and want access to 2 red sources. Maybe something bad happened to my astrolabe, so. It's Friday evening before the playoff, and I was asked where I was at with that. And, well, I'll show you guys where I'm at with that, because I have nothing to lose in the playoff. But I definitely want one of these in my main deck, and not more than one. At any rate, my opponent conceded this game to the second core, Skyfisher. So that's match 1. Wasn't that great? We're going to go through match 2 as well in this video, because match 1 was not particularly interesting or exciting. So, I kept this hand, and you shouldn't do that. It's not good magic. It's particularly egregious because this snow-covered mountain. If it's snow-covered plains, then I can draw just any land and go double Ardent Recruit, should my turn 1 Arkham's Astrolabe resolve. But because it's a snow-covered mountain, if I draw red sources, I can just play 1 Ardent Recruit on turn 2 instead of 2 Ardent Recruits on turn 2. So, like, I need to draw a land, right? But, like, I put myself in an awkward situation where I need to draw a white source, not just, like, any land. Sure, I'm on the draw. Sure, I have an Astrolabe, but this isn't a good keep. I should not have kept this. If you're going to play Boris, you should just get used to mulliganing a lot. Well, Boris Metalcross specifically. You're going to go to 6 with this deck a lot. You're going to go to 5 with this deck a lot. At this point, I actually remember thinking, until I saw this Astrolabe, and then what he does with it, I'd only seen like this Ponder, right? Until he bolts us, I'm like, is this guy drive? Is this guy drive? I draw tremendously well. Boom. Get you. Draws Brainstorm, uses a Ponder, has a Scred. I mean, things are going pretty well for the Jeskai guy. I'm going to get back. It's actually interesting. So I could have played that a little differently. So it's turn 4. Have not made a land drop. So I could have gone back my Ancient Den and also played a Court Homunculus. I guess I just figured the game might go late and I wanted the card. It's an interesting spot. I could also have a Court Homunculus in play and not this in hand. I'm not sure which is better. the court homunculus usually, but at the point which there are two augur bowls, I probably do just want this back in my hand. So I think I chose the right decision tree there. That's an interesting spot. I'm interested if anyone has any thoughts on that. I'd be interested. This is an interesting spot. How to play that Skyfisher there. I also could just left up some mana to not get got right there. Use our worst removal spell. Get another flyer into play. Get the first value, the original value. Get in a great attack. He's going to hit a lightning bolt. Flyer down. Yeah, see, that's how good how good Bone Splitter is. He has to counter Bone Splitter. So I decided he's going to 6 or I have 6 in hand. I'm just gonna get another threat out. Like, I'm not gonna fight further over that ephemerate. Like, he's at 6, I have 6 in hand. I'm just gonna try to find a spot. And like the dispel reveal, not favorable. All the brainstorming, all the pondering, not particularly favorable either. But he takes a line, he goes to 3, and I have 3 burn spells. Our opponent's build of Jeskai is certainly interesting, by the way. Worth noting, he's playing Ponder, Augur Bolus, Prohibit in some number. This is definitely not your traditional Jeskai Ephemerate list. Main deck Dispel as well. So, an interesting game. Yeah, see, we board in Red Elemental Blast as well as Reaping the Graves. Keep the double Astrolabe 5. Yeah, we just want to put pressure on. It's a great draw. That's a whiff. But this is a free attack. Our opponent does not offer us the chance for a blowout. We just have to let this happen. Like, if we reb one, we're not the reb is too valuable, especially with reaping the graves in hand. So I'm under no pressure here, right? And the plan this game was, and I just have to let that happen too. The plan this game was to draw either a Glinthawk or a Core Skyfisher. Because Reaping the Graves for a Court Homunculus and a Throbbing Inspector is not going to do much of anything. But if he counterspells a Glinthawk and I fight over it, well, I can get all 3 back and probably resolve all 3 in the same turn if I just be patient here. Because I'm not under that fast of a clock. Usually, the Jeskai deck takes out its Maul Drifters against such aggressive strategies that they cannot rely on just randomly drawing 4 cards to translate into winning the game. where there are plenty of strategies where it's exactly how it works. You draw 4 cards out of nowhere and then you just win the game. But when you mainly just care about the opponent's life total, they don't have time to spend 5 mana on a 2/2, or even 4 mana on a 2/2, and tap out in doing so. So, this Red Blast is not being saved for a Maul Drifter, because he probably shouldn't have any left in his deck. We're going to go for this. We are going to misclick. I remember doing that misclick, but we finally do draw a value bird, and we can enact our plan. And also learn how to resolve Reaping the Graves. Unfortunately, it's just a little too late in this game. You guys have already seen there's a game 3. Like, the plan came together. Feels like I play this well. It just came a little too late. It's turn 13, right? I'm an aggro deck. It's turn 13. I don't deserve to win this game, basically. But the mulligan to 5 was pretty rough. This is like, for a second, I thought I was good here when I baited the counterspell and got the Core Skyfisher. Because I don't think our opponent plays Spellstutter Sprite either. I think he plays Augur Balls in that slot. I just have to try, right? I can't focus on not losing the game against Jeskai. He's going to outvalue me. He's going to... I have to try to, like, get something going here, and that's what that attack is about. Our opponent has Gorilla Shaman here and then proceeds to eat our lands. Which is a clear mistake, as he could have killed us by eating our Court Homunculus. And he actually somehow still has some number of Maul Drifters in his deck. And again, but he still misses, right? That he can eat our Court Homunculus and attack for lethal there. So, yeah, I tried to claw my way back into this one. And that's game. I guess maybe he can keep in like 2 Maul Drifters. Like, any more than that's really greedy. But, I mean, he had lethal for a bit there. His hand is maybe even a mulligan. Like, it's just not aggressive. I mean, I kept it, but having played more of the deck now, I feel that this hand, you should consider mulliganing it. And certainly on, like, the bottom of our range for keeping it. Right? It's like, we can keep it, we're not happy about it. But, I don't know, I mulliganed to 6 and 5 so many times with this deck, I'm just over it now. I'm totally down to mulligan. Still playing against Spellstutter Sprite because he has that exact mana available. Even though he has shown that he runs Prohibit in that slot and or Augur Bolus. Gorilla Shaman seems pretty decent against Boros Metalcraft. Not as good as it is against Affinity, though. Sneaking the damage while he's tapped out. And we just have enough pressure. But we did draw incredibly well with this Glenhawk, with this Ardent Recruit. And that's sort of why maybe that's Mulligan, right? Doesn't have a lot of pressure. So that's rounds 1 and 2 of my challenge run. I'm going to do these in some number of segments. I don't know. I'm not going to commit to anything right now. I will finish this, though. Please enjoy.